Hey, what's up, guys? This is MugenLord here, and today we talk about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth once again. Yes, I know a lot of you guys are tired of hearing about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but just wanted to bring this up because we're going back at this once again because Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is finally coming to PC, and you know what that means: modding time. And the the developers themselves are telling fans to be modest with the mods, don't make anything offensive and everything like that when installing these mods. And you already know how that's going to turn out. You don't tell modders not to do certain things, because guess what, they will double down. So I just wanted to give you my thoughts and opinions on all this. So before we step into this video and this topic, make sure you hit the subscribe button, the notification bell for more gaming content here on this channel. So we're gonna dive right into it. It's from Bounty in the Comics. I don't know why I don't know why Square Enix is just doing this. They did it before when Final Fantasy VII Remake was coming out for PC as well, and they were doing the same thing. And you know that this is not, modders are not going to do, is not going to stop because you tell them not to do it. It's just going to make them do it anymore. And plus, it's your PC, it's your gaming experience. You should be able to mod it any way you want. So it's going to be amazing to see how Nexus Mod and many other people is going to respond to this now that the developers themselves is pretty much saying that please don't do this. So let's go right into it. So from Bounty in the Comics, ahead of the game's PC release, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Director asks modders not to create or install anything offensive or inappropriate. To me, I think he's really telling us to install and create inappropriate mods. Maybe that's him telling us that. Maybe that's what it is. But let's go on. And making a request that even he must admit has absolutely zero real chance of ever being honored. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Director Naoki Hamaguchi has asked players to err away from engaging with offensive or inappropriate mods when the game finally hits the PC platform early next year. I don't know. I think, to me, he's pretty much telling everybody to do that. That's my personal opinion. But let's move on. Hamaguchi, who served as the co-director of Final Fantasy VII Remake before being promoted to his current role following the stepping down of Tetsuya Nomura as series director, made his appeal during a recent interview with Epic Games regarding Rebirth's upcoming PC release. Following a lengthy discussion revolving around the technical aspects of the port and his thoughts on the remake trilogy story, the director was eventually asked by his host, Fight Magic Items, the history of Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, and the rise of Japanese RPGs in the West, author Aidan Moore, as to whether Rebirth would be as mod-friendly as previous remake, with the extensive capability of fan modding tool Seventh Heaven being raised as an example of the customization fans we're hoping for. And that's kind of shitty to ask a question like that, and then you talk about the modding tool itself, because now it has a name, and then you put it out there in the public, and now you're telling the director themselves about that. So there could be two folds from this. Maybe saying this is for the fact is that he was asked this question, and as a corporation and everything like that, he's not allowed to promote modding tools because of corporate speak and all these other type of things, the legal ramifications behind it and stuff like that. So maybe he has to put that out there since he was asked that question. And then two, why would they even mention that to them? Because that can also put Seventh Heaven modding tool on display. Maybe Square Enix can pull a Nintendo and decide to be ninjas and go there and tell them to shut that shit down now that they mentioned their name. It can go either direction if it got that serious. You know what I'm saying? So let's go for it. So it says, in turn, Hamaguchi affirmed to Mara and his readers, while the team has no plans for official in-game mod support, we respect the creativity of the modding community, and welcome their creations, though we ask modders not to create or install anything offensive or inappropriate. Yeah, so pretty much he's doing a disclaimer. That's what he's doing. He's doing a disclaimer. He already knows that there's no stopping it, but he's asked this question, and he has to be professional in order, for his corporate overlords, and he has to put that out there because he already knows that's not the case or whatever. And the fact is that Square Enix is all for modding and everything, and that's good. That is really, really good. And we already knew this, but for them to come out their mouth and say that, hey, we're totally fine with this and stuff, but just don't be naughty gamers when it comes to this, as a disclaimer. So it says, and though the director and his team currently have no plans to add future content to the PC release of Rebirth, whether in the form of official mod support or an episodic story as a new DLC, the latter of which he admits was ultimately unrealized due to time constraints. He did admit that if we were to receive strong requests for players after the release regarding certain matters, we would like to consider them. That's the thing, like DLC, no, I can't see it. Was anybody asking for Final Fantasy VII Remake DLC with the first part? Because to me, I don't think anybody was requesting that. In my personal opinion, I think they just up and did it, maybe because they did have the time compared to what they had with Rebirth itself. But I have a feeling that if they do it, it probably won't be because of fan requests. It's going to just do it because, hey, we need to really get these sales up for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And not only that, we need to get people still talking leading up to part 3. So if they really want to think about it, I think it's not far-fetched for them to make DLC for this, even though they're saying that it may not be a possibility. So it says that interestingly, Hamaguchi is but the second Final Fantasy series developer to make such a request in recent months. Fielding a question from PC gamers, Molly Taylor originally meant for Final Fantasy 16 director Hiroshi Takai regarding which goofy mods, if any, he would like to see players make for the game's PC release. Producer Naoki Yoshida asserted, if we said it'd be great if someone made XYZ, it might come across as a request, so I'll avoid mentioning any specifics here. So he said, the only thing I will say is that we definitely don't want to say anything offensive or inappropriate, he added. So please don't make or install anything like that. So yeah, that's all this is. When they always ask things that's outside the realm when it comes to modding, which, you know, these companies don't really do mods and stuff like that. It's more of a fan thing, and it's this gray area and stuff like that. So they have to do that corporate talk, you know, of, hey, you know, don't be bad, you know what I'm saying? So here we go. So it says, ultimately, while Hamaguchi, Yoshida, and all the developers are free to ask their fans to avoid the creation of such offensive mods, the internet is the internet, and we know that, and there's very little anyone can do to stem the work of fan creators. In other words, if someone wants to see Tifa in a skimpier bikini, then the Costa del Sol offering, they will damn sure find a way to make it happen. At current, the long-awaited PC version of the game is on track to fight Shinra back in January 23rd of 2025. So yeah, that's pretty much with this case right here. Yes, we covered the one with Final Fantasy 16 about the they didn't want them to do, if you know, the community do offensive mods. You know that's not going to happen. They're going to do offensive mods. That's just how the community is. But to me, that's just corporate speak. They also have to protect themselves by saying that. But the fact is that Square Enix loves to see is open for communities to create mods for their games and everything. And you already know the first thing a lot of fans are going to do is throw them jiggle physics on Tifa, especially when you have the bikini outfit. How could you not throw jiggle physics on that? So it's going to be crazy once the release come out, and you want to see a bunch of gameplay footage of people posting that exact scene. And you know, some of the raunchy, some of the most craziness when it comes to that scene of where costumes is going to take place at that beach at Costa del Sol is going to be crazy. And you know how the culture war is going to be. You know how both sides are going to be when it comes to this. And you know that people will be called coomers, all kinds of other stuff. People will be saying it's porn and everything like that. So get ready. So that means there's going to be a lot of content up ahead when this game releases in 2025, especially in January, and definitely looking forward to, definitely gonna be covering it, and maybe we'll go through some mods as well on live stream. So that pretty much wraps up this video. But before I go, just want to remind you guys that January 6th is when I launched my comic book company, Venus Orion Comics, my first comic book series within my shared comic book universe called VK, Variant Killers, Vampire Killers. We'll have pre-orders up So if you guys are interested in supporting me as an independent creator, going out there for the first time and publishing my first story, and with my amazing artist Chabibit, Jessica, she's done a good job with the artwork, and I can't wait to be able to share this universe with you guys and see where this all goes. So I had a link in the description to the Kickstarter, because the pre-launch page is up right now. You can hit that notification button, because we're gonna have limited items that's going to go along with this campaign when you pre-order your book. So if you want to have be able to get a chance to be able to grab some of these limited items, I suggest that you go right now, because when you make, if you don't have a Kickstarter, you have to make a Kickstarter to hit the notification. So you don't want to go on the day of pre-order and miss out on a lot of these items that we have to go along with the book, because you have to stop and create a Kickstarter, you have to wait for verification, and you missed out on some of the goodies and stuff. So definitely go check that out. And that pretty much ends this video. This is MugenLord signing off. I'll see you game fiends later. Peace out.